Hey guys, there was some recent talk about these metal valve covers, and I kind of wanted to go over some changes we made a little while back in supplier for these valve covers. So the supplier is, for the first version of it, is certainly from China. I'm confident that the second one is as well. That being said, these are certainly not the same product. It appears that the earlier versions of these, the ones that are available on some of the Chinese supplier websites, are a direct casting or a copy of probably a plastic valve cover. You can see there's ridges here. They're not present on this. Obviously, you don't need the additional structure of an aluminum product over a plastic one, especially at high temperatures. So there's some major differences between the two. They are just not the same, and this video is to cover exactly that. So first thing we want to talk about is the casting quality. That becomes evident on the uncoated side. So we'll flip these over here. So if you take a look at the casting quality of the current version, it almost has a sheen to it, and it's just, it's not coated. It's just a tighter, less porous material. Then you get over here, and you can see there's just different things like the flashing that's visible here. That's just signs of low quality casting or a different process. But the bottom line is they are certainly not the same. And all of these options are not, they're not all created equal for sure. It's very evident that this is two different castings. Next piece that I want to cover is the baffle material, since we're looking at the bottom. So this is a composite high temperature baffle material. And some of these came with a metal baffle like this, which sounds like a better thing if you are worried about this melting. So we put this in the powder coating oven at 500 degrees for an hour and tried to poke it with something sharp. It's just rock solid. So whatever composite is being used on that high temp, not anything to worry about. Hardware backing out would be the next concern. You can see somebody went to town on this with some goop, and these are all Allen stainless hardware. These cannot be removed very nicely, or at least without stripping, without bringing this up to temperature. So there is a high temp adhesive used on the hardware. Seems to work really well. It's not a fear that that hardware is going to back out for sure. Next thing we want to look at is dipstick and camshaft sensor fitment. So on the early versions of this, we had to drill out the dipstick holes to get them to work properly. We had to drill out the cam sensor holes to get them to fit in properly or easily. So we test all of them that go out. We've got these little two pieces here. But you can see this doesn't even want to drop down to the O-ring. So there's no chance that's going in there without modification. Get over to that one. It's firm. It's about as firm as probably your stock valve cover. Next one's the cam sensor. So that is not seating. The other thing you'll notice while we're doing this is it is a bidirectional sensor mount. So a little bit less intentional for our application here. Obviously a casting difference. Something to look at too that just caught my eye is this standoff here is clearly offset to the right. These are all perfectly centered. So just overall huge quality differences. Cam sensor, we'll drop this in. So you can see that sits flush. Otherwise we do some trick stuff with Radium. We use their ORB fittings, and these are sized accordingly to your stock plastic, your breather. So you can technically take your stock plastic one, cut it, warm that up, slide it over, and it fits perfectly on there. We block off the other end with an ORB port down here, but otherwise there's just major differences, and I thought we'd cover that. We also send a moly valve cover gasket with each one of them, and we do coating options. So this manufacturer will ship us raw uncoated versions, which is great because we don't have to spend a ton of time sandblasting and possibly contaminating a valve cover. So that's an option as well. If you guys have questions, let me know. I just wanted to shoot a quick video and show the differences. Thanks.